Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the Beyond Bitcoin Show, Episode 1. Today is April the 7th, 2018. Strong hand. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Fitting in is overrated. Okay, this is a new show, people, and we're going to get into some different topics. But so every Saturday now, due to popular demand, I'm going to have a show. We'll talk a little bit about cryptocurrency at first, but then we're going to go beyond Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about some of my healthy lifestyles, how I save money, and what you guys can do to become more efficient, to become more productive, to be better long-term thinkers, to have discipline. And I think it'll get you on the road to success if you're not already there. And you'll be different. You'll be part of the 20%, to say the least. And you'll understand that it's not all about fitting in. And you'll be taking personal responsibility. So that's what this is going to be about. And you come to this channel, you're going to hear things that you're going to hear no other place. That's why you've got to come here. We have totally original stories here. And obviously today's show is going to be really totally original because it's going to be about my lifestyle, which not a lot of people partake in. It's my personal lifestyle. But anyway, pound that like button if you like originality and you like being a 20%er. But anyway, so now it's time to learn how to be in motion even more so than you are right now. So save money, be healthy, become stronger when you're alone. Okay, so I say that personal responsibility is the new counterculture. And the other side of the coin is, what's the mainstream culture? What is the 80% doing? The 80% is addicted to others making decisions for them. They just accept their fate. So dollar and the system will survive in some way. And so all of you guys can complain about, why does this system have to survive? And or you could take personal responsibility and position yourself on the winning 20% side. Be your own personal responsible boss, personally responsible boss in terms of money and in health. So, okay, the general world is just going to go on like it is now, okay? People are going to become more and more dependent on the government. That doesn't mean that you should just go with the flow. You've got to go against the flow. You just can't complain. You've got to do some things with your life. You've got to become healthier because you don't want to get stuck in the medical system. You don't want to get stuck in this insurance system, okay? You've got to just be your own boss because you don't want to work for the government. You don't want to work for these giant corporations. You don't want to work at Target or in an Amazon warehouse. And you don't have to do those things. But you can't just sit there and complain. You're going to have to become your own boss. You're going to have to be in motion. You're going to have to meet people. You're going to have to become healthier. So some people, it's harder for some people. So you're going to have to take some small steps at first. And I'm going to talk about some things that you can do that I personally do. To be independent, start doing things a little different for health reasons. And the goal is just to become, to think long term and to not get caught up in the 80% system. And you're obviously you're building yourself up. You're building up these healthy attributes of long-term thinking, of making your body healthier, of being a 20%er. So you're going to last longer and be able to enjoy your riches and stuff for a longer period of time. Because if you do get sick, that costs you a lot of money. All the things I'm about to tell you are also, it's about getting healthy, but it's about saving money. And so you don't have to work harder. So you don't have to work as long. It's all connected. Getting out of the unhealthy rut is a challenging first step, but is an easy first step, and it sets up real freedom and real economic freedom and discipline. So first of all, here's one simple thing you can do. And a lot of you are going to complain and say, oh, this is too hard. I only drink water. That is a healthy thing to do. you avoid sugars, you avoid alcohol, you avoid spending all of that money on all of those things when you could just have free water, or if you want bottled water. Let's not get into an argument of over what water you should be drinking. Let's just say you should be drinking water. It's the cheapest thing out there. It's the healthiest thing out there. It is not going to get you sick. And yeah, it sounds boring. And sure, you're not going to get sugar highs and stuff like that, but it saves you money. And again, it is a first step to teach yourself to be disciplined and to be strict about your life. You got to be strict. There are no off days in life, okay? There are no cheat days. So if you're going to do this, you're going to really do it. You're going to really, and if you can accomplish this, only drinking water, that's a big accomplishment. Imagine what else you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to hold that Bitcoin without being tempted at all, okay? You're slowly building up to the point where you don't need to work for any, you won't feel the pressure where you're like, you've got to impress your family because you did X, Y, and Z. You worked at this job, you got married, or whatever they want you to do, or whatever peer pressure wants you to do. If you have discipline and are able to accomplish things like only drink water and become a healthier person, and you're going to think more clear if you're not drinking that sugar stuff and drinking that alcohol, you're going to be a stronger person. And so it might not make a lot of sense to you at first, but think about it. Think about it. You're building up yourself. And this is what I have done over time. You know, I was a crazy partier once. I mean, I used to do some wild stuff and eat unhealthy. And I'm lucky that I have a good metabolism. And I'm lucky. And I was lucky. I can admit that I didn't get sick and stuff. But you can only press your luck for so long. Again, everyone gets older. Well, no, you don't get older if you have an OD. You could be Jim Morrison and live till you're 27 years old if you want to, but that's it. Yeah, I don't want to live, I want to live past 27, obviously. I want to be 127. So anyway, let's talk about another thing I do. Exercise your brain. Don't watch any TV. Give up TV. Don't own a TV. So the only times you're going to see TV is when maybe you're walking past one at a store, you're at your parents' house, your sister's house, your brother's house, your grandma's house, or whatever. But don't watch the TV. Is just mainstream nonsense. It's not there. It's there to set you into a pattern, to set you into that 80% pattern. And again, the 80% pattern is living unhealthy, getting sick, having to pay a lot for medical bills, becoming bankrupt, becoming very dependent on the government. So you want to flex your brain. You want to exercise your brain just like you want to exercise your body. And for that, what I do is I'm only on the internet. I watch YouTube. I try to watch, just different educational shows. Whatever you might have a hobby, you might have an interest. I used to like solar system, space stuff as a kid. And I've been watching this guy, Arthur, his name is, or something. I didn't link to it below, but he has the most amazing videos about, colonizing different planets and colonizing the rest of the galaxy and the universe. And just, it's very inspirational stuff too. It's aiming beyond what most people say, oh no, we can't get beyond the solar system, or we can't get beyond Mars, or there's some of you kooks out there that are saying NASA's a conspiracy and stuff. So again, you can be a doom porn person like it, or you could be someone that's trying to educate yourself, trying to just shoot for the stars, literally shoot. And that's one of my things. But I love to learn about things. I love to learn, to really learn. I don't like to get educated in the system, because there's a difference, and we're going to get into that in a second. So again, exercise your brain. Exercise your brain. Go on the computer. Don't watch the TV at all. There's no reason to own a TV. And that's part of minimalism. You don't need stuff. And it's discipline. It's minimalism equals discipline equals freedom. And there's no need for a so-called great job. Okay, like you can start your own business. And again, there's one thing. I have a lot of things written down here, so we're gonna jump to another thing that's been in the news lately. And but a lot of people like to have scapegoats. They like to blame other people for their problems, other mysterious groups of people. And again, if you've got an issue, if you're poor, it's your fault. You take care of it, attack it. You don't have to get a so-called great job. You can just stop spending a lot of stuff. There's two. There's spending and then there's earning. If you cut your expenses by an incredible amount, you don't need to earn as much. And there's a lot that 80%ers out there can cut, but they're buying TVs, they're going out to eat. These are things you do not have to do at all. They're drinking soda, they're drinking sugary drinks when you can just get free water. I mean, and the amount of money you save on that in a year, it's a lot less hours you have to work at Amazon or Target or whatever. But anyway, a lot of people like to blame George Soros for all their problems and stuff. And not that he's a good guy. They like to scapegoat. They love this scapegoat. I don't scapegoat anyone. I don't scapegoat anyone. That's a lesson. That's something that I do. That's something that you can adopt. If you find yourself blaming someone, you're really actually putting them on a pedestal. You're giving them more power, actually. You think you're ripping on them, but you're just spreading the word about them. More people are finding out about them. More people are thinking they're like king-like. And then when they do something that kind of supports what you're into, like George Soros supposedly started buying Bitcoin, you don't even know what to do at that point. You don't even know what to do. I mean, it wrecks your whole world view. You got too obsessed with it. When you start to scapegoat, you obsess with people and you waste your time. I don't waste my time. If there's someone I don't like, whatever, I'll talk about them once or whatever, but I don't blame my problems on them. I don't get obsessed with them. I move on. I try to improve myself instead of worrying about masters of the universe and just, you take care of your own problems. Clean your own room. Make sure your room's clean. As Drew, what's his name says, I always forget his name. I'm not attributing something that's wrong. The Canadian, up at the University of Toronto, him. Anyway, pound that like button if you like when Adam forgets. What's his name? I call him. Why do I keep calling him Drew? It's not Drew. Oh God, I'll add it at the end of the show. Everybody knows I'm just having a brain. It's late at night, dudes. All right, so another thing I do. Here's something you can do to be healthy. I keep saying be healthy, but you got to lose weight, first of all. You just got to be in better shape. And so a lot of you do athletic activity. But for those of you who do not do athletic activity, okay, Jordan Peterson is his name. I want to call him Drew Peterson. Jordan Peterson. Anyway, for those of you who don't do athletic activity, and anyway, I'm not looking even in the chat at all. I hope someone said it in the chat. By the way, if you have a question in the chat, I'll answer it if you do the super chat. That's the only way I can see it. But here's something you can build up become a stronger person, build up your endurance. Interval training, it's called. And so it's a lot of you can't run a mile. And I'm not going to go tell you to just try to run a mile. I'm going to try to tell you to do something better than run. I run 20 miles a week, okay, at least 20 miles a week. But if I only did interval training, it might even be healthier than that. If I did interval training 3 times a week. I also do interval training once a week. And what that is, the simple definition, the simplest thing you can do is run, basically sprint as hard as you can for 70 yards, okay? And then you take like a 30-second to a minute 30 break, and then you do it again. And then you take a break. You do it 8 times in a row, okay? With a break in between, a 30-second or 1:30 or 1 minute and 30, 90-second break, whatever it is. You can look up interval training, okay? I do like, I do at least 10, okay? But I've been doing like 13, which is, you don't have to. But the reason I say you should try this first is because maybe you're only able to do it for 20 yards, but you could do 8 of them. Or maybe you're only able to do it once for 70 yards and you can't do it anymore. Well, then the next week you build it up. You try to accomplish something. You try to make until you've got it up to 8 times for 70 yards. Now, there's other interval training type of things you can do on like a bike, but you might not own a bike, okay? I'm telling you stuff you can do for freaking free, all right? You don't have to build, to be athletic, to be a good runner, to be in cardiovascular shape. You don't have to join a gym. That's a waste of money. Do some push-ups. Anyway, start with the interval training. Because you can see every week you'll have a new goal to do 1, to do 2, to do 3, and maybe you can do 8 right away, but you can't do 70 to get it up to 70 yards. And then after you can do interval training once a week, then maybe you can also diversify and start running a mile. But by then you'll be able to run a mile, definitely. So you can go from there, but I'm just telling you something that I personally do. I do interval training. That is something I do a lot. The show is about what I do for real life. I live a frugal lifestyle. Obviously, I only drink water. I haven't had anything but water since the year 2014. I think it's the last time I had something else. I had a little bit of wine or something like that. Or I got drunk at my friend's wedding. That's also last time I had alcohol. And again, I don't drink anymore. I don't intend to be intoxicated ever again for the rest of my life. And I hope you can have that goal too, because it can be fun or whatever, and you do a lot of crazy things when you're drunk, but it has long-term effects. I have no idea what it's done to my liver. I have no idea. Well, what's the anyway, I'm not going to glorify it. It shouldn't be glorified at all. I'm glorifying the other side, which is just having a clear mind. And just, since, I think it's no coincidence, since I've become a more disciplined person in terms of, what I eat and what I drink, I've obviously become much wealthier too. And it's the Bitcoin thing obviously happened at the same time, but I had the discipline to be able to buy and hold that Bitcoin. All that, I was buying the cheap Bitcoin, and I didn't get tempted. Because I'm not easily tempted. When you have discipline, you're not easily tempted. You got to get into these patterns here, and it just reinforces this personal discipline, this personal responsibility. And yeah, a lot of it, going back to the interval training thing, it's about building on numbers, and you become more of a computerized type of person. Don't let emotions cloud your mind. Think in pure numbers. If you think in pure numbers, you're going to be a better investor too. You're going to be better with your finances. You're going to understand that spending less, you're going to have to work less too. You're going to have to earn less. You won't have to go to Target or whatever you do at your job. And I'm not making fun of Target, because working at Target is the same as working all sorts of different jobs. It's just, you've got some boss yelling at you about nonsense that, he's got some ego. He's got some shortcoming where he has to abuse you, and you've got to take his abuse. That must be horrible. It really must be horrible. So I think everyone who's in that situation should be very eager to becoming their own boss, and would be very willing to only drink water to get away from that boss, to get away from that abuse. Think of it logically. Think of your mental well-being here, people. All right. So speaking about strong mental well-being, a lot of people fear being alone. You should treasure being alone. Okay. Being alone is awesome. If you can be alone, you're quite a strong person. If you start to just try to be alone, you're going to strengthen yourself, because there's so many people, they're like, well, yeah, let's hang out. Let's go out. Let's meet at this certain time. And if we don't meet at that exact time and they're alone, they're like panic stricken. They're calling you on their cell phone. I don't even have a cell phone, because I don't need the reassurance of people being around me. If someone isn't there when they say they're going to be there, then fine. I'll be alone. I do things alone all the time. You guys see me traveling around the whole world all alone. Traveling with other people, coordinating with people, it's a pain. But a lot of people just cannot be alone. So that ends up costing them a lot of time. It ends up costing them a lot of worries. Trust me, if you can be a more independent person in that way, if you don't fear being alone, you're going to be a stronger person. You're going to be a healthier person. You're going to do things because you're not going to be embarrassed. You're going to become because people who fear being alone, they fear going outside the mainstream. They won't do something different because they don't want people to say, oh, look at him, he's different than us. Because being different is being alone. You're by yourself. They're saying he did that differently. Oh, look at him. And people, I think it might be natural for people not to, to relish that as first, because when you're a kid, you don't want to be you don't want to be different. But as an adult, now we're all adults here. We're all adults here. And so you got to be stronger. You got to be comfortable with being alone. And I am very comfortable. I love it. I love traveling around the world by myself. So, and again, I did not grow up being an only child either. So I think maybe people being an only child, I don't know if it's easier. I have siblings. I will just leave it at that. I have multiple siblings, as I don't want to give all my personal information away here. I can always call them on the phone or whatever, but I'm just saying my base growing up was I would have people around, but now I love it being alone. And I've been in plenty of relationships before. And when you're alone and you look back on those relationships, you're like, oh my God, what a waste of time most of it was, because I was doing what she wanted to do. Or I mean, I was trying to live up to a standard for her so I wouldn't be rejected. So I wouldn't be single, so I wouldn't lose her. You shouldn't fear losing anyone, okay? You shouldn't. If they're not really your friend, they're not really your friend. If they want to make you do something, they're not in it for you, man. They're in it for you. And let them be in it, fine. If they want to be in it for themselves, that's cool. You're in it for yourself here. You're trying to be, again, that's being alone. You're in it for you. You're in it for you. And if everyone's like, dude, what the heck are you, why are you trying to become wealthier? That's so greedy of you. No. I want freedom. I don't want to work with you anymore, dude. I don't want to be a 9-to-5er anymore. So yeah, shun me. I mean, say that I'm different. Fine, I'll be alone. So you got to be comfortable with that and practice being alone. And just, I mean, go somewhere. Go on a vacation by yourself, or spend I don't know, drive around by yourself. Go spend an hour by, start small, but then build up from there. And you'll experience a different freedom, and it's just be easier for you to not be in a pack of people and just to go your own way. And I know it's called men going their own way, but you can say it, but then you can live it too. And there's a difference between talking about it and living it, and just not being prone to shame and embarrassment. Because if you're good with being alone, you're not going to be ashamed of anything. You're not going to be embarrassed by anything, and you're just going to be able to become more and more successful and be more and more creative. And if someone calls you cheap, fine, you're alone, you're cheap. That's great. You're going to be cheap. They cannot be cheap, and they're going to end up broke, okay? And they're going to end up doing whatever they want to do, doing their mindless life, fitting into the machine. They can go their own way. You're going to be alone. You're going to go your own way and see where it takes you, because it's an adventure. Trust me. So yeah, experience teaches. You truly learn through experiences. So there's a difference. There's education versus learning versus school. You go to school to be educated, and you're not necessarily going to learn a darn thing at school, okay? You're going to be taught a way that you're going to be indoctrinated into some way of thinking. And dude, if you're a parent and you're sending your kid to these public schools, and then you complain that X, Y, and Z happened at the public school, it's your fault, man. You sent them there. I mean, you're learning, you're sending them into a situation when they're indoctrinated into a way of thinking that you might not agree with. So you gotta be able to teach yourself. You gotta be able to learn. Okay, you're gonna be able to really learn and understand and gain real knowledge. Okay, and that's most of the time that is not through school. Maybe some universities you could go to, some of the elite universities. You are going to learn. You're going to learn. There are going to be some good teachers. I mean, if you're a biologist, you're going to learn about that. But you can gain. Don't let people like me, guys who went to Washington University in St. Louis. Now, I'm a nice guy who went there. I'm not going to say you're an idiot because you didn't go there. But don't let people say, well, just because you didn't go to Hopkins or WashU or Brown or Penn or whatever, that you're an idiot. No, you can learn from the internet. Just like I said before, you can learn a lot from the internet. You don't have to have a fancy degree like Adam Meister has, or, all the guy, whatever. You don't have to have that. Okay. Now, there might be some other reasons to go to an elite university if you want to be around some smart people, because there are some smart people that go there. But again, it's not about fitting in. You do not, if you're totally broke, dude, and you can't get a scholarship or whatever, don't try to worry about why you can't go to Johns Hopkins or whatever. Get your own education. Become an entrepreneur when you're 18 if you need to be. And if you're 27 now and you haven't gone to college, don't worry about it. Don't feel the need to save money to go to college at this point. Get an education through the internet. Seriously, through the internet. This is quite a time we live in. You can learn about the solar system from that one guy. You can learn about Bitcoin from Adam or whoever out there. There's so many subjects out there. You're just trying to add to your knowledge base so you can use that knowledge to become more productive and either gain more free time or gain money, gain Bitcoin, and gain freedom, and just have it and gain the power to not fear being alone. All right. So, okay, some other specific things, because people want to know about specific things I do to save money. Here we go. This is baking soda. This is real baking soda. Real baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. Okay? It's really cheap. I brush my teeth with it. You use it as deodorant. You wash your body with it. You wash your hair with it. Okay? The other stuff that's expensive has poisons in it, literally. And you're like, wait, what? I'm not eating those poisons. No, it's absorbing through your scalp. Okay? And again, and a lot of people like my hair out there. I got some pretty good hair. All right? And again, I'll lose it all one day, of course. We all lose our hair one day. So don't try to like stop that with dangerous chemicals either. I've talked about that on other shows. But here's the thing. I know my hair's not I've lost hair. There's no shame in saying that at all. All men lose their hair unless they have a problem producing testosterone and stuff. And you're in worse shape if you're not producing testosterone. I mean, losing your hair is one thing. Not having testicles is another thing. That's a serious matter, right? So you'd rather lose your hair than lose your testicles, clearly. So, but okay, this is real. Don't just buy something that says cooking soda or whatever. Make sure it's sodium bicarbonate, and it does everything. Okay, it's that simple. The toothpaste is poisonous. Some of it actually deteriorates your teeth, apparently. Again, your body absorbs all that stuff. It does, because you say, well, I'm not swallowing it or whatever. No, your body absorbs it. Okay. This stuff is some magical stuff, man. It's the real thing. And, it'll save you money, and it'll save you money in the long term, because who knows if you're getting cancer from that shampoo. If you get cancer from that shampoo, that's going to cut down on your life, how long you're going to live. And it's going to cost a lot to treat that cancer. If you are aware of it early enough. All right. And you don't want to get cancer. And I'm not saying, you can go through your whole life. Plenty of people go through their whole life with all the products that all the chemicals that we're exposed to. Well, maybe, no, every year they get harsher and harsher. So, my grandmother's 95 years old. Obviously, the first half of her life, she wasn't, it wasn't these chemicals that she was, she didn't have to deal with any of these chemicals back then. And, my parents, they didn't have to deal. But now, if you're born around 86 or something, yeah, your whole life has been exposed to these chemicals. So I don't know what it's going to do long-term. I don't know what it's going to do long-term to you. So, try this out. I feel great. Again, I used to do what everybody else does, wash my hair with that stuff, and my hair didn't, using baking soda and stuff hasn't damaged my hair at all. My teeth are as healthy as they've ever been. I haven't gotten a cavity at all by using baking soda. And should I talk about how my brushing of my teeth, all that? No, we'll talk about that in the next video. Because, there's so many people do want this video. People want to hear about the things he does. Well, that's one thing. Another thing I do, I look at all the labels on everything that I eat. Okay. I only eat, real food. So you have to look at the label on your chicken too. If it doesn't only say chicken, then you got to see, well, what else is in there? You got to really, and then look up what those ingredients are. Now, if you cannot pronounce those ingredients, then no, you cannot buy. You don't buy anything with ingredients in it that you cannot pronounce. All right. Now, I'm not saying this is, again, the first step you're taking toward being healthy, remember, is not drinking anything but water. Okay. But eventually, you're going to have to cut out everything, all the processed food, all the chemicals and stuff. So, since I've done that, I can't. I've become my body. You can see the six-pack more, I guess, and just a more muscular definition. Again, remember, everyone, I've always been thin. Okay, but when you get into this more healthier, athletic lifestyle, you become more defined, and I think you have more energy. In terms of, you don't get sick. I don't get sick. And if I feel bad, maybe I'll get sick for 6 hours or something like that instead of 6 days or something. You don't always feel perfect or whatever. But I hear these people, they're like hacking during their videos. Like, yeah, man, I'm sick. I've been sick. I had the flu for a week. No. It doesn't happen to me. It doesn't happen to me. It just doesn't happen to me because, I put the right things in my body. And I, stay physical fit. You got to stay in motion. it's not just to say, physically in motion too, not just networking with people. All right. And again, I've always been a very happy person. I don't know about depression and stuff, but I think if you take these steps and you put healthier things in your body or on your body, you get away from these chemicals, I really believe you will become a happier person too. A lot of people, they want their solutions to be taking a pill. That's not the solution. The solution is to avoid taking the need to take pills or the desire to take pills. There are a lot of, and again, I'm not an expert at depression, and this is when it always gets controversial in these videos, right? A lot of, even Sandman talks about the things he's had to take for depression or whatever he talks about. No, before you try those pills, try taking things out of your diet, like all the sugar. Maybe you've been eating sugar since you were 1 month old. Maybe that's why your brain chemistry is messed up. But again, we'll talk about this in a later Saturday video, in a later Beyond Bitcoin video. And we're going to talk about intermittent fasting, how every day of my life since 2013, I've been fasting at least 20 hours a day. It's really been 22 hours a day for most of that period of time. But that's for next video. So pound that like button, people. I hope you liked the Beyond Bitcoin show today. I warned you all, it's going to be different. We're going to do this every Saturday. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the notes section below. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. I will say hello to you guys in the chat section, in the chat now. Bye.